folks, Turbine Guy coming back at you in Independence with Brad Erickson at his home right on Lake Independence. And I'm out here to talk to Brad today because he wanted to talk to you. Many of you may or may not know him from what's been going on up at Orono, where he's been up pretty much every public comments for a year or plus now, trying to make a certain point. And some people think he's crazy, some people don't know what's going on, and others have rumors going. But we thought we'd set the record straight as to why Brad's actually up there and doing what he's doing. So Brad, first of all, from what I understand, this all kind of started a couple of years ago when you got a couple of videos texted to you from Orono Mayor Walsh.
Yes, well, the videos came in the summer of 2020. I did not discover them until 2022 in my direct mailbox for Facebook Messenger.
You know what they are? Right-wing, what I would call extremist propaganda.
I would say that no mayor of any city, let alone Orono, should be peddling that sort of vile and filth in any manner, especially during a time period such as the summer of 2020 with the George Floyd murder, the riots,
all the unrest.
All the unrest.
All the
yes,
unrest.
And all the stress in the
Which was
community.
filtering around and causing other people issues too.
Mm-hmm.
Now you said vile and despicable. What exactly is it in these videos that has you wound up?
Well, the comparison of the mask mandates to the Holocaust, to the extermination, quoting from the video, the extermination of 6 million Jews, unquote, was way over the top, way beyond the pale for me as a local business owner sitting on a actual powder keg at the time that those videos were sent, being one of the only businesses open in Orono on this end of town in any case at that time.
You just said business owner. How long have you been a business owner in Orono?
10 years.
10 years. Like any other property owner, you pay taxes?
Absolutely.
So then,
a lot of taxes.
even though everybody has their right to say anything at any city council meeting, you've got just as much right or interest as any Orono resident.
Yes, I believe that is the case.
A publication that came out, tcjewfolk.com or .org, and they basically saw the videos, looked at them, and called them anti-Semitic.
Absolutely.
But you do have organizations calling them out for what they are. Now, here's what I really want to get into. This bothers me that our mayor, our council, and others would be trafficking in this type of propaganda. And to me, you know, if we've seen these two little videos, it's like the top of an iceberg. What the hell is under the ocean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are we not seeing going on? But why is it extremely hurtful or sensitive to you and your family?
Well, there's history in my family going back to the Netherlands in the early 40s. My grandparents were married in 39 in a small town called Lissy, Holland. My father was born in that same town. There are issues that came up during that time period that were not something that you can talk about online or on air. And
from what I understand, and this is true of a lot of World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans, and others, they just don't want to talk about it.
No.
What happened and what they went through is just something that they've had to bury to get on with life, and they just don't want it bubbling up.
Well, it was something I hadn't personally dealt with in 40 years. I can't speak for my father, but we did have a conversation maybe a month ago now about it, and I don't think that he's talked about it or thought about it much in quite a while as well. However, it was very unsettling for him, and it's just not a good subject.
Well, basically, your family has some history related to actual Nazis and actual concentration camps.
Well, with the Nazis, yes, and yes, there was definitely a threat of going to a concentration camp.
Which, you know, Years ago, when I flew from Rome to Munich, I was lucky enough to sit next to an elderly lady who had lived through Germany in World War I and World War II. And she was nice enough to allow me to question her about it, to ask her questions, about what it was like during World War I and then World War II, and what about the concentration camps, and why didn't you do anything? And you know what it really boiled down to, she said? By the time they found out, it was too late and you would have ended up there yourself. And so you kept your mouth shut and you tried to survive. So I'm sure that's how your family lived at that point, just like everybody else under the Nazi thumb.
It was worse than that, but yes, that's a fair summary.
Okay, so you've been up there advocating, basically from what I understand, to get them to acknowledge, or get Walsh to acknowledge what he sent,
and why he sent it.
And why he sent it, and to open a discussion so that people can talk about this and understand that it's wrong to be doing it. Did I paraphrase that right for you?
Yes.
And that's why you are up there every meeting, in some manner, trying to get them to do that.
And then I find out about the Proud Boy stuff with Mr. Crosby and how anti-Semitic they are, and then it starts leading to all this other stuff that, with the Capitol steps, the stuff going on down at the governor's mansion, and actually working in concert with the hate group, maybe other hate groups. I just really want to know what's going on up there and how much danger we are really in that time period, and that may still persist today. I believe these folks are misguided and being misled, and I believe that they're putting this community in danger, and likely continue to put it in danger to this day. It needs to be rooted out. It absolutely needs to be rooted out.
I completely agree. So you are basically looking for them to actually talk to you, to open up, to maybe acknowledge what has happened, and find a way to move forward.
Yes.
And you're not going to go away
without them.
Without them.
Well, I think they've proven. I think they've betrayed the public trust. I do believe that they've broken some laws. I do believe if they were investigated, that would come to the forefront. And I do believe that we need better leadership in Orono, and we deserve better leadership in Orono. Clearly, these guys ran as nonpartisans. They're in nonpartisan positions, and they absolutely are not living up to the office of which they hold. Absolutely not. In no uncertain terms.
I completely agree. I mean, it's time for our community to start moving forward and healing. And it sounds to me like that's actually what you're trying to bring to light what's going on, and then you're trying to look to move past it and start healing.
I didn't have a choice, Jay, to confront this head on. I confronted it head on, and I don't have a choice but to stay after it until it's resolved. So however they want to resolve it is up to them. They brought this to the city. I did not bring this to the city. I tried to resolve it behind closed doors early on, and I was met with attacks and stonewalled. And so here we are. Here we are all these months later, a year later, still dealing with the same painful subject. And it needs to be dealt with. If history's any indicator, he's right about one thing. It will repeat itself. And it will repeat itself here.
Yeah.
Unless people stand up and start speaking up at council meetings about stuff that they see that's not right. It's just not right. It's not a right. And I'm a Republican, right? I'm not a liberal. I'm not a libertarian. I'm a Republican. My father was a Republican. My grandfather was a Republican. But this is not the party.
Trafficking in this nonsense?
No way.
Shouldn't be there.
No way.
Well, I completely agree. And unfortunately, I have little faith that they'll do the right thing. But you know what? Stick to it. We got to keep advocating for what's best for Orono. And that's what I've been doing. And I know that's what you're trying to do too.
And shine a light on it.
Shine a light.
So people know who they're voting for. Clearly they had no idea who they were voting for the first time. And I believe had we known about this early in 2020 or mid-2020, I don't think Walsh would be holding office today. Someone may have run against him and would have likely beat him.
Hey folks, interview with Brad Erickson. Now maybe you understand a little better about what Brad's advocating for and what's going on at City Hall. Turbine Guy, signing off.